So, now that everything's out of the way, we're going to try this again. We're playing Don't Starve, Reign of Giants. But there's a small tweak. All the giants are set to lots. So what that means is giants will spawn more, and any one of the 4 giants can spawn. You can't be slamming doors here. Can you go see Granny's for a little bit? I'm doing something. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright. Now back to what I was doing. Giants set to lots. We're going to have to fight more. We're going to have to fight random ones, essentially. But we're playing as one of my favorite characters, Wigfrid. Wigfrid is unique. As you can see, let's pick this carrot up and show this off. What this means is she doesn't eat anything but meat inside. She won't eat vegetables, fruit, anything in the nature. So we're just going to drop that off there. But she does start and is able to craft 2 unique items signature to her. The Battle Helm. It's a headpiece armor that reduces 80% of the damage you're going to take, and it lasts for quite a long time. So with this is really the only armor you need, and the only thing you need to craft it are 2 stones and 2 rocks. And likewise, on the offensive front, she has her own battle spear. Now, the battle spear is better than a regular spear, and only Wigfrid can make it. But instead of just twigs and flint, it requires gold as well. But that's not going to be an issue. So, in case you couldn't have used context clues, we're in a swamp at the moment. Give you a second. I'm going to organize this crap. Alright, so the way I like to organize is all my tools and stuff on the right-hand side here. All my essentials, aka grass, twigs, and flint, over on the left side. And then the middle slots here are just for really anything. Namely like food and extra resources that I'm not going to use, but I've just gathered. But what we're doing now is we're collecting reeds. Reeds only spawn in the swamp biome. And apparently Wigfrid will eat bugs. Which, funnily enough, you can't eat butterfly wings, which is technically a bug, so technically it's meat. So I'm not sure how that works, but whatever. Wigfrid's cool, nonetheless. But we'll keep going. Now, mushrooms. I'll explain. These spiky bushes, you can gather them to get twigs, but they also damage you. So I generally don't bother with them. There's really no point. You can just harvest regular saplings and get twigs that way. And twigs in the regular game, not adventure mode, which I'm not sure if I actually do adventure mode. But twigs and saplings are in no such thing as a shortage by any stretch of the imagination. So we won't ever really have to deal with these things. Spiky trees, you can chop them down with an axe and you'll get twigs. Sometimes you'll get logs, but most of the time you'll get twigs. Usually not worth using an axe for that. Once again, you can just collect saplings. But, anywho, so what we're doing now is we're exploring the outskirts of the map. this will let us be able to locate where it is. As you can see, I know right here is a swamp, and then this is a grasslands biome. So if I ever need reeds, I know where to go, and if I ever need to go to grasslands for something, I know where that is. Right here are spider dens. Spiders are really not that bad, unless they're in very large amounts of numbers. But for the most part, you don't really have to worry about spiders all that much. They're very easy to kill. You can trap them and kill them instantly that way. But we don't really need any of that stuff at the moment, so we're just going to keep pressing on, collecting some reeds as we go. Now, as you can see up at the day counter there, we're now in the red part. The red part is dawn. Dusk, I should say. What dusk is most of the monsters, like spiders, will come out at dawn. Dusk, not dawn. Damn. But, once again, not really too concerned about it right now. Now, the time of day is important, though. During dusk, you'll naturally lose sanity, which is that little brain meter. And once you drop below a certain number, you'll be attacked by what's called shadow creatures. Shadow creatures drop nightmare fuel if you can kill them, which usually isn't that hard, once again, unless there's like 7 of them. Then it's kind of a big deal, but they can easily be killed, especially if there's only 1, 2, even 3 of them. So, no biggie there. I'll let the gold for a second. There's some gold. Okay, so gold, very important, especially in the early stages of the game, and even more so later on in the game. You need gold to make a lot of things, and I mean a lot of things. So, you can normally find some gold just lying on the ground in, like, rocky biomes, which is what this is, or graveyards. I'm gonna pick up most of this stuff. And that was a spider. But anyway, let's press on. Alright, so we're gonna make an axe here and chop down the tree. And you do need an axe to do this. You can't just punch the tree. This isn't Minecraft. But as games would normally suggest, you usually get wood and something to replant the trees. Now, night. Night is actually very dangerous. So, during the night, you need a light source at all times. Whether it be a campfire, you light something on fire, or a torch. And the reason it's so important is there is an enemy in the game which cannot be killed, cannot be targeted, and cannot be damaged in any way, so it's permanent, called Charlie. If you're in the darkness, your character will state, oh, blah blah blah, it's so dark, or I can't see. And after a little while, Charlie will attack you. And she deals, I believe, it's 100 damage per hit. Now, since we have this battle helm on, it'll actually only do 20. It's 80. You go 20. Obviously, simple math. But you normally don't want to get hit by Charlie, because it'll also drain your sanity by quite a large margin. So you can light stuff on fire with torches, and that'll make more light than just the torch itself. And then while you do that, you can chop trees, mine wood. Yeah. And then torches won't lose their ability unless they're actually in your hand. So normally usually switch back to something, because there's no point in seriously going at the same time. And that's really just a waste of a torch. But as you can see, we're starting to get a decent stockpile of items. But we are in no means ready to take this game on. So, what we're going to need to get started is we're going to need about I usually like to go for about 25 logs before I actually do anything, and you'll see why I'm doing this momentarily, actually. I actually need a twig. What was that? Okay, I guess. Yeah, as with fruit, you're not really too concerned about like the wild food that you come across, aka carrots, berries, seeds, stuff like that. Those really don't matter all that much. You're gonna have to figure out a way to sustain yourself by killing things. There are pigmen with for meat. That eats meat, and that bird is sitting on the water. Okay. So anyway. Make another axe. Didn't really want to do that. Okay, well, we have to remove these rocks first. Whoops. Anyway, I guess we'll press on with it. Anyway, and obviously, you can't use a pickaxe to chop trees. You can't use an axe to mine rocks. Simple, logical things. Anyway. If I was smart, I would maybe axe on pickaxe. And once a tool breaks, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, once a tool breaks, if you have another one in your inventory, it'll automatically equip that. So it's a little bit faster than waiting, making another one, all that. But anyway, I'm just going to continue. You usually want to go around the outskirts of the map and reveal a lot of it. That'll make it substantially easier to find important resources. For instance, if I ever need reeds, I can go over here. I know the swamp's over there. I know how big the swamp is. And I know how many reeds are just on the outskirts. And then obviously the inside. So, yeah, as you can see, that pickaxe just kind of automatically thrown to my hand slot. Okay, so now a bit of advice, you don't really want to eat meat raw. You usually want to cook it over a campfire, but since there's still plenty of day left, I am just going to eat it. As you can see by the red circle that appeared around the brain, it actually reduces your sanity by a little bit. But for Wickfrid, sanity and health isn't really a big factor, and I'll explain that whenever necessary. There's a reason why Wickfrid's my favorite character. It's not just because she doesn't eat vegetables. It's a really good reason as to why. But that'll come a little bit. Pretty much the rule for this game is if you can carry it, it's probably a good idea to pick it up. Like, all these rocks will become apparent later. You might think 51 rocks is a lot. I assure you it really isn't. Okay, now up here, this is a wormhole. You jump in this wormhole, and it's pretty much a teleportation device. It'll teleport you somewhere on the map. Which, this is actually one that I guess I had just missed. So, jumping in wormholes does lower your sanity, but not really too big of an issue. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but you can kind of see it. The edges of the screen are kind of getting distorted. If you look down at the bottom left-hand corner at the leaves, I'm retarded. The waves, you can see everything starting to move a little bit. That's a sign that your sanity is low. That'll be helpful if you're not really looking at your brain. But generally, you can just hit the R2 button and bam, we're at 43. So, the goal, as of right this second, is just keep exploring. We're probably going to be exploring for the first, maybe 9-10 days. These maps are huge sometimes, so sometimes it'll take longer. Alright, so, map here. Right there. So, now we're going to do one of the biggest elements of this game, crafting. You're going to build a science machine. Then, that opens up a lot of things. So, we're going to use a backpack to carry more stuff. We're going to make an endothermic fire. That'll come into play later. We're going to use a shovel. And we're going to refine some rope, boards, cut stone, papyrus. Now, we're going to make 4 cut stone, 4 boards, and this is the main reason why I like to get so many logs. Boards take 4 to make, and we're starving. Starving really isn't that bad in this game. I'm at 195 health, eating cooked meat at 198. So we will have to be somewhat careful, but with the cut goal, we're going to make electrical doodads. Then we're going to make an alchemy and replace it. We're going to save that for when we decide to set up a base. So I think we have everything we need. We've got a backpack. We've got a good amount of logs. We need more grass and twigs, though. And as a matter of fact, if I can find one more piece of grass, that would be ideal. But it doesn't look like I'm going to. So, no biggie. We could hammer that if we had another piece of grass. But we don't, so it's not that big of an issue. Hammering stuff, by the way, gives you roughly half of what you put into it. But if you only need one item out of that category, it'll always give one back. So, and here we have mole worms. Mole worms, they'll eat minerals lying on the ground. And they'll respawn from this thing. You can dig that up, but there's no point to, because if you dig that up after killing one, then it'll permanently destroy it. Now, this brings a good point to the table. What is this suspicious dirt pile? Well, this is basically the hunting mechanic. You follow these suspicious dirt piles by going the direction the animal's footprint is pointed towards. Now, I'm sure everyone can kind of assume what we're going to do for hunting this animal. And I'm sure everyone knows why we're doing it. This is actually a lot easier as Wilfred, since she excels in battle. Anyway, once you get that message, that means you found it. Just go up here. This is a koala.
What are you pointing at Ashton Kevin's door for? God damn it, I wish he'd fucking hang out with Barbara for a fucking minute. I love that you love me like that, dude, but you're smothering me, man. Go on in there then. He don't care. Come on. God. I can't stand there forever. Fucking never mind then, dude. I'm not playing this game.
God, they're pissing me off. Anyway, so this koala fin is our source of food in the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get him trapped in like a corner, because he'll constantly run away from us. But you can kind of, I'm not really doing a very good job here, you can kind of work him into a corner, like this. And then once you attack him once, that's it. But look at this bounty. We got 8 pieces of meat and a koala fish tank. Just from that. Now, we're going to go a little bit back this way and continue exploring. Now, those footprints will randomly spawn, but do be careful. As the game goes on, the game will start being a dick to you, and it'll start replacing those with something called vargs. Vargs are pretty much assholes in this game, no doubt about it. Like, vargs really piss me off. But we'll explain that whenever I can get to it. I'm not sure if I'll actually find one anytime soon or at all. There's only a chance that they'll spawn. But with that being said, we're going to continue exploring with our newfound meat. Oh, and then, by the way, morsels, like rabbits and smaller animals, they'll drop morsels. It's basically just a smaller meat. It'll refill you less, it'll give less stats and stuff like that. But I'm going to keep on moving here. But as you can see, we have a ton of flint, which is used for making regular tools. We've got a good amount of twigs, which is used for making tools and other things. We're not doing so hot on grass. We do need to find a lot more of that. Mushrooms. Now, Wigford can't eat mushrooms, so no biggie. Ooh, okay, cool. Here we have what's called a clockwork knife. These guys drop gears. Gears are very important for a number of reasons. It's good that we found them a little bit to begin with. Now, we're going to go grave robbing. Oops. Anyway, you can dig some graves and you can find stuff. Buttons. There it goes. I'm finding nothing but ghosts, alright. So anyway, grave digging main form is to get trinkets and stuff like that. It's a trinket. That'll come into play later. There are so many ghosts, it's not even funny. Okay. So that right there was a tall bird. We're gonna ignore the tall bird for a second. Look at all this grass. Are these ghosts still following me? Yeah, enemies in this game are really random. There's a moleworm. Kill it! Yeah, he likes to eat like flying around. It's usually better just to kill him. You get free food. Like, what else is he doing? Besides trying to eat crap. So you can kind of lure them. by their gluttony. They'll pretty much always go after minerals, and you can just kill them like that, and then take the mineral right back. They take quite a while to actually eat it, and even if they do eat it, kill them right after, they usually drop it. So, no real harm to them. They'll come back. Okay. Getting very hungry. So, oh, okay. Here is a sunken boat. This will come into play very much later. Not really going to worry about it right now. But we are going to put some campfires and cook this meat. They're still following. What the fuck? Goodness gracious, leave me the fucking alone. Leave. What are you doing? God, they are persistent. They're pissed. They're not gonna have grave robbers. What she was attacking. Alright. So, the fighting in this game is interesting using a mechanic called kiting, which is baiting an enemy to attack, ducking out of the way until the animation is done, and attacking them back before their cooldown. So, you'll basically see me run in and out fighting enemies constantly. It's a lot better than just standing there taking the damage. The armor is basically there just in case you do take damage. But you usually try to take damage, so... Alright, so... You can also pick flowers and use your advantage. Do not, and I mean, do not attack those flowers. They are not harmful or harmless as they are in the real world. Let me tell you, they will kill you, and they will kill you fast. Frogs are probably one of the most dangerous enemies in this game. This game has seasons. Right now we're in autumn, so obviously after autumn comes winter, and then spring, and then summer. Well, during spring, there's something called frog rain, where it'll start raining, and frogs will legitimately fall from the sky. And if you attack a frog during frog rain, you need to run. They will very easily swarm you and kill you. It does not take many frogs to overwhelm you, I guarantee you. So, instead of following the left there, I am going to follow this path. If I can find what I'm looking for, it'll be a great demonstration, but I doubt I will. It doesn't look like it. So anyway, roads you move faster on, and they usually... I did look at that. So this little guy, the eye bone, you pick this up, and it opens, and you're like, and it's Chester! Chester is a mobile chest. Very, very useful, and he follows this eye bone wherever it goes. So, now we have that, we actually have more inventory slots. So now I can pick up more and more. Alright, so, after we get that, let's get back on the edge of the map and continue exploring. And we'll obviously gather resources along the way. There's another wormhole. Okay. In this one, have I? No, I went in that one. Okay, so we're going to jump in this wormhole. Alright, this one leads... Well, that's a fucking useless wormhole. Okay, so wormholes normally transport you to very far away places, but as you can see, I was just right here. Yeah, these two are connected. I might as well walk. Anyway, we've got Beefalo. Beefalo here. Don't remember having a video going, but okay. Anyway, we're starving to death. Woot woot. But Beefalo, they're another supply of meat. You can kill them, and they'll drop wool, which can be used to start fires, and stuff like that. Now, this thing right here, these are called touchstones. And you can also hammer these pig heads that are on sticks to get pig skins and sticks, so it's very useful. The thing in the middle there is called a touchstone. What that does is if you activate it, you die, you'll now respawn down here. Normally in this game, if you die, that's it, it's game over. But, not if you have a touchstone. Now, what I usually do is I do usually leave a few basic resources like grass, twigs, and flint down here. Just in case I do die, I'm not screwed. So, that's useful that we have that. That thing over there, really no purpose. Pretty much you can find 4 different things they're called, and you can find a set piece called the wooden thing, and you put all 4 pieces on there, and it lets you travel to a new world. It destroys the one you're in, but it's a new one. It's good. I don't know. Got rid of like all the pine cones and trees in the world for some stupid reason. I don't know. Like, no idea. I don't know why anybody would do that, or how that's even possible. There's so many freaking... Look at this. Each tree you get 1, and if it's fully grown, you get 2. How do you run out of pine cones? Like, my god. Anyway, I've already... Yes, I have. Okay. So... pretty much the first few days, you're always collecting grass and twigs. You can never have too much grass, no matter what anyone says. Grass is used for basically like 75% of the game. Items in the game, I should say, not the game. You're always going to need grass. Like, if you want rope, that's grass. If you want a torch, you need grass. If you want a trap, you need grass. Now, these trees, these are lumpy trees. They don't drop pine cones. So, I guess if you chop down all of these and did it, I guess, theoretically, you could run out of pine cones because you don't have leaves left. Alright, you know what? This spider's aggro on the chester. But, in case you didn't notice, watch the stuff. You notice how the insanity meter, well, that's wasted special ability. She regains health and sanity with killing. So pretty much, it is possible. I'll tell you that. It's almost impossible to die. Torch. And just like before, if you have another torch in your inventory, it'll automatically equip. That way you don't have to fumble around your inventory looking for it. But spiders drop monster meat, spider glands, which are used for healing, and silk. Silk is useful for animal things. So I'm gonna light. No, I'm not. You really don't want to light fires anywhere in a forest because it's a good chance. That's right here. Okay. You really want to play that with Chester? Get over here, please. But as you can see, spiders really they can actually be stun locked. If you really wanted to, you could defeat spiders without having a weapon equipped. I mean, it'll just take forever. But yeah, now these are mandrakes. Mandrakes, I'll be quick about that. During the day, once you pick them, they actually don't do anything else. That's it. You can just pick them up from there. But if you do it during dusk or night, they'll actually run away from you. So I picked them and just hit them real quick with the spear. Mandrakes are interesting. They can either be food, or you can use them for pan fruits, which you can play and put things to sleep. There are a limited number of mandrakes in the world though, so you do want to be careful with how you use them. So generally, food's not really the best choice since you have other means of food. Actually, you know what, here we go. You can throw this in here, that in there, monster meat, and you can take it. Now, what I think I am going to do is I'm going to get these saplings. These saplings are the twig generating resource. You can plant them and they will back saplings. Same goes with grass, except for tops and saplings, but you know. Yeah, as you can see, there's pigs and spiders and meat. We're not really getting involved in that. I don't really need any. I don't really have anything right now. I do want this blue gem though. What can I get rid of? You know what? Actually, I don't need these petals or this manure. Anyway, blue gems are very important. And I'll go over that once we get them. We need 9. And it'll do something really great for us if we can get them. It might be a while before we do, and I might just say screw it and not worry about it. But if I can get them, now, Chester's a retard, as you can see. If you step on the spider web, it'll actually aggro the spiders. But if you run on the edge of it, they usually don't notice you. But Chester is not really smart. He just kind of runs balls deep into it. So, there's that, I guess. Now, these trees, you just smack them. They don't give you any wood, they do give you plant guns. But I know you do the percentages in this game. A big tree takes 15% of your axe, and I think 34%. All the trees take multiples of 5 except for those. So after this will actually get rid of my axe, which frees up inventory slot. And you can also dig up the stumps to make sure so it doesn't really that big of an issue. Now, I'm trying to think if I want to grab more saplings or not. Because my inventory is very, and I mean very limited. Until we can set up a base somewhere, we're going to have inventory problems. So I think we're just going to leave it as it is. Okay, now, that guy right there. That is a bishop. This guy is untouchable unless you have a massive, and I mean massive speed. You have to be moving pretty fucking fast to dodge that projectile. So generally, those enemies I'll tank. Usually just stand there and hold the attack button. And They generally die after hitting me once, maybe twice. But you get purple gems from those, and purple gems are interesting too. I believe there's quite a few number of gem types. We have blue gems, red gems, purple gems, yellow gems, green gems, there's orange gems, and I think that's it. But each one has its own gimmick. Blue, obviously, is ice. Red, fire. Purple is classified as the nightmare type. Yellow, I'm not sure what yellow is. Orange is laziness, and green is labor. Now, we won't see the other types of gems unless we're really lucky for quite some time. But they're really not all that useful. You have to be in a certain spot in order to even make use of them. So, all in all, not really that big a deal. However, the blue, red, and purple gems we can use anywhere for the most part. But that'll come into play later as well. So I'm going to wait a little bit until that. But as you can see, you do gain health from food. So you generally can take some to make the food last a little bit longer. I really want to collect this grass, but I really don't have any room for anything. Oh my god, man. Actually, I'll tell you what. I don't think we need an 8% shovel as much as we need grass. Okay. And I am keeping this torch just so I know I have a slot to hold it, because I've died like that before, where I've made a torch and it's dropped on the ground and I wasn't paying attention, and I'm looking for it and I die before I can pick it up and use it effectively. So, usually not gonna use the last space torch. See in here a little bit. Now, you usually can wait until you do that before you're actually in danger. But that does a number on your sanity. So it's a mixed bag. You can make your torches last longer. It's more of a leniency thing. And, you know. On the other hand, you lose sanity, and if you're not decent in the game, sanity can be a big issue. Or it can be your best friend. And in this case, it's probably going to be my best friend. I'm probably going to be abusing insanity as much as I can once I get to a certain point. Now, rain isn't good. Rain will actually make your torches go out faster. So, especially when it's raining, you'll see it set stuff on fire a lot more. And don't be afraid to destroy like grass tufts or saplings every so often. You're not going to need every single one that the game provides, but just don't do it to every single one, because once again, you could screw yourself. But for the most part, it's usually not. Keeping on. Now, as you can see, we've got a good bit of the map explored. Still no base locations, but we'll get to that eventually, I'm sure. base setting up in this game is very dependent on where resources are located. You don't want to have to go all the way across the map to get something like grass, for instance, or reeds, you know what I mean? You don't want to have to go from one side of the world to the other just to grab, like, one piece of gold or something. Now, the most important thing, I feel like, especially playing with Wigfrid, is finding either a desert trinket thing, like this desiccated tentacle, this ancient vase, and some new items Chester has, are considered trinkets, and you can give them a pig cube, and give you gold for them. It gives you quite a bit of gold for trinkets. You can also give them meat, but I believe he only gives you 1 gold. Anyway, this biome is a deciduous biome. This has an increased chance of spawning pig kings. Pig kings usually located around the deciduous biome. Not always, but for the most part he is. Now, judging how this area right here is green, that means one of two things. Either we have a pig king, or there is a sinkhole. There's a sinkhole. Now, sinkholes lead you to the caves. Well, that's not the only thing they do. There's always a sinkhole next to the pig king. I believe it's 100% guaranteed. I'm not sure if it's always, but it's a very good chance that it's not guaranteed. Which, I believe, is over here. So this is a pig village, and there's pig king. Roads generally lead you to here. But, once again, you can get all these trinkets and stuff. Pig king. Now look at all this gold that I've gotten. Like, look at this. Alright, so we have 12 gold. Yeah, watch this skyrocket. I gave him 3 things. He literally gave us 20 gold. Now, what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to cook this elephant trunk, but I'm not going to eat it yet. This thing is really good for health, so I'm going to wait as long as I can. This thing, this glomer, on a full moon, there'll be a bug thing there. You can harvest the flower, and he'll follow you around much like Chester. You can't put things in him, but he does have his uses. He produces what's called Glommer's goop, which acts as fuel for a campfire. It's one of the best items in the game for that reason. Alright, so 165. Yeah, as you can see, we're back to 200. So, this is a really weird find. It's cutstone. You usually want to pick up cutstone anytime you come across it. Cutstone's pretty expensive. Rocks are not infinite in this game. Technically they are, but it's at a very, very slow rate. You can only get so many rocks within a certain time span after all the boulders are gone. We probably won't ever have to experience that. It probably won't last that long. To be honest, like that's like day 400 worries right there. But either way, no big deal. Now I'm gonna put that in Chester. Is there anything I can take out? No, not really. Now, you can eat monster meat. With Wigfrid, it's really not that bad, because she gains health and sanity from killing things. It actually equals to their attack power. It's 25% of it, so if something does 20 damage, you gain 5 health, 5 sanity from it to kill it. Spiders. 5 health, 5 sanity for every spider. Spiders are numerous. There's a shit ton of rope, my god! Okay. Rope is another good resource. It costs, what, 3 grass to make 1 rope, and rope's needed for a lot of things too. So, we'll take that. Oh, I forgot to give Gord's not. Alright, so... Alright, so we're gonna follow this thing again and kill us another koalaphant because we're kind of getting low on food. Yeah, and then whenever you're tracking these things in like the forest, it can actually be really hard to spot them since the trees will like to cover them up like that. If I didn't turn the camera, you wouldn't be able to see that. Another thing, turn the camera always. You usually want to go upwards towards the camera, like I'm doing now. Look at all this fucking gold. Goodness gracious. So anyway, and you just follow the direction. This will actually be relatively simple, I think. Maybe not. This way, I think. Now, doing this at night is a lot more difficult. See, it's a lot harder to see with just the torch than normal. Burnt trees. But as you can see, he's actually asleep. So we're going to build this So every enemy takes a different number of hits before you have to dodge. The koalaphant is actually 6, so you can get 6 hits off before you have to run away from it. So, it's usually generally, God, very good at English apparently. Usually they're not bad to have to kill. Very easy. Wickford actually does more damage, I don't think I mentioned that. She does 25% more damage and takes 25% less damage. So, very useful for combat. She's not the best for combat. That has to go to a character named Wolfgang. Wolfgang, if he has a full stomach, if his hunger bar is completely full, I think he does 2 times the amount of damage as normal characters, and he moves 25% faster. Meaning, you usually can get more hits in, doing more damage with him. He also gains more health whenever he's full too, so standing right in the enemy's face, beating him down, is actually a valid option. It's not usually a valid option for other characters, since other characters... Okay, we're touchdown. Other characters usually have difficulty with that, so they don't have that high of health. Most characters in this game start with 150 health, and don't get any higher than that. It will increase your stat. But, that being said, Wakeford has more health and takes less damage, so it's practically like having, I'd say, probably like 250 health as opposed to other characters, since she can take more of a beating because she has the higher health, and she doesn't take nearly as much, so... Anyway, we're going to continue exploring here. We got food for a little while. Oh, and spider glands. I still didn't give this to the fucking pig key. God damn it. Spider glands are healing items. So I put the wrong stack of racks. Wanted to put the full stack, and I feel like it's a little bit more up and away, but apparently I'm retarded to do that right. But, anyway. Yeah, these are healing items. They heal you for 8, and you can actually combine them with ash by burning things. And rocks make healing salve, which heals you 20. So I generally have a large amount of those, because spiders are actually one of the best, probably one of the best farming things in the game. You can get lots of monster meat, which is useful once you get a thing called a crock pot, which you can put different food items in to make better food. And spider glands are always helpful, and silk is used for like, bug nets and bird traps and stuff like that. You can also make top hats. For some reason, you can be fucking Abraham Lincoln in this game. I'm not sure why. I don't know what the point of that is. Okay, this brings me to a great subject. If you notice, Wickford just said something about the beasts are approaching. It's between, I think it's 7 and 10 days, you get a hound attack. These hound attacks get more and more, they add more and more hounds up to, I think, day 100. More fucking cutstone, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna have more fucking cutstone than I know what to do with. I don't have a shovel on me. I can't put anything in a chest, can I? No. So, I don't know if you could hear it over the sound of my obnoxious ass voice. I'm sorry. You can kind of hear it. You can kind of hear them growl. Right there. That'll signify they're approaching. The first time, it'll take quite a while before they actually appear, but as the game goes on, you'll get less and less warning, and more of them will attack. The first few waves are literally a joke, as long as you have a spear. They're practically a joke. Later on, when they're sending like 10 and 11 after you, they can be pretty troublesome. I'll get to show that off, which is cool. There's also 3 types of hounds, depending on the season. In autumn, you can get regular hounds, which are the most common. And I believe you get blue hounds. Very rarely, especially in the first few times. Here we go. Not very good at hiding multiple. But there you go. As you can see, they're not that difficult. The first time it's usually 2. Yeah, really not a big deal. And as you can see, since Wigfrid's ability, I'm back at full health, he's not taking a hit. So, really no big deal. But, there's blue hounds that'll spawn in winter with them. Also in autumn, but it's much less of a chance. And then likewise, in spring and summer, you'll get fire hounds. Well, fire hounds and ice hounds will have a chance of dropping gems, respectively. You can get blue gems from ice hounds and red gems from fire hounds. It's a good way to get some early gems. And it's not like you can really avoid them because they'll come after you directly where you're standing. Yeah, you can kind of lure them away and, like, have them attack something else. But it's usually just better to attack them the first few times. Okay, so we have another wormhole here, and we're gonna go jump in! Where the hell did this go? I don't know where this is. Okay, it's not too bad, I guess. It's a decent wormhole. It's better than the fucking one we got going on. Where is it? Right here. Better than these two. At least this one goes somewhere. So, that does cost sanity. I think it's 15 a pop. But it's really not that bad, to be honest with you. Now, the desert is a very good place despite what it may seem like. You have these things, which are tumbleweeds. Tumbleweeds drop 3 random items. See, we got a houndstooth, seeds, grass, twigs, grass, twigs. They'll drop random items. Most of the time, it's grass and twigs. This is the best way to get grass and twigs. A little animation you do on picking them, you only have to do once as opposed to 3 times. Now, I'll get to show off sand a little bit. So I think, I think right here, we're going to kind of set up base for right now. Permanent base. But we're going to drop this porch. Meat lasts longer if you cook it. Vegetables, on the other hand, last longer if you raw. Same with fruit. So you usually don't cook fruit until you eat it. So a good rule of thumb is you can attack chesters. Whenever you're doing fighting, it's generally better just to leave it's a lot easier to fight on these because I'm not like, oh, chester. I wanted to show you that it's insane. There are boards that Here we go. Right here. This is a crawling horde. One of 2 nightmare creatures. They have a very small attack range. But they drop nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel is infinitely useful. And this log suit is not going to go. Yeah, armor obviously has durability, as you can see. My helmet's at 69. Pop. And obviously, as you take damage, that'll increase. So really no big deal. But killing shadow creatures will actually restore your sanity. The one I killed, I believe, will give you 15 sanity after you kill it. There's another one that we haven't seen yet, which we probably won't see for a little bit. It's called Terror Beak. They're a lot faster. Those are really dangerous. And if you're not careful, those things can kill you very quickly. The crawling horrors are really just a slower spider. They do the same amount of damage as a spider. They're really slow. They have very small attack range. Like, they have to be basically right on top of you to hit you. So, they're not really that bad. The Terror Beaks, if you have like 5 or 6 Terror Beaks on you, you probably are just better off running. Those guys are scary. They're not impossible to deal with, but they're definitely not the easiest. I don't know what is going on with all these skeletons. I don't think I already explained it. The skeletons are called boons. Well, they're not really called boons, but it's basically just a little bonus that are random for each world. You're not guaranteed to have a certain one. But they'll have random items lying next to it, which you can use free. AKA boards, cut stone, all that stuff. But as you can see, look how many tumbleweeds there are. tumbleweeds are a really good source of twigs and grass, and you can actually get gems from them. It's astronomically low, but it is possible. Normally there's a finite amount of gems in the world, but with tumbleweeds, they're technically renewable. You can get endless amount of gems if you wait long enough, or just get really lucky. There's another world that I have where I think it was like the second tumbleweed I've gotten. The second tumbleweed I opened, I got a yellow gem, which is a 0.01% chance of getting it. I was amazed. I was like, I'm dropping something right now. So, this is a very big desert, and I'm not too sure. I know I'm pretty sure I'd seen a rocky biome. I could be wrong. Because we don't have a rocky biome anywhere. It's weird. Rocky biomes obviously have rock. The desert has rock. But these boulders right here are what we're able to drop rocks. There's 3 types of boulders. You've got these boulders, which drop nothing rocks. There's the ones that have little gold streaks in them, that are kind of odd shaped and really tall. Those drop gold, and then you have the round, solid color ones that are a little bit smaller. Those will drop niter as well. Niter is somewhat useful. It'll actually make endothermic fire, which, I don't know if you know what endothermic means, but it basically sucks in heat. It doesn't produce heat. And you might be thinking, well, what's the point of that? Well, in summer in this game, you overheat, and you start taking damage as if you were freezing, which you can freeze in this game, by the way. But it's essentially the exact same thing, just your temperature is on the opposite end of the spectrum. You can't be too hot or too cold. So, endothermic fire will help combat that. You can also make winter clothing, and you can also make summer clothing. One will keep you cooler, one will keep you warmer. It won't last forever though. The way this game handles temperature is your body tries to match ambient temperature, which we don't actually get to see ambient temperature. So we won't ever know actually what the number is, but we'll know if it's cold or if it's hot. Ooh, okay, wait a minute. Tallbird's not gonna leave me alone. Alright, so tallbirds. Tallbirds are also very dangerous. Taking on there's one more enemy that is very, and I mean very dangerous. Take them on the cords. That's beefalo. If you attack a beefalo, every single beefalo is and they do a decent amount of damage. Now, you got clockwork. Clockwork ropes are probably the best ones. You can see he's breaking shit. What you can do is you can actually charge and damage. Boom. And you can see you take damage from that. And kill him. So, clockwork ropes are by far the best ones. You gotta look at that. as you can see, Clockwork Rook is probably the most useful one. He'll just store stuff for you. We also so I usually just it's very hard to actually kite. I don't know if you could see that, but they're not to be taken lightly. Now, I'm going to show off what Monster Meat does. As you can see, we have 7 health, 187 health. If I only had 7 health, I would not be eating Monster Meat. Anyway, we have 7 hunger, 150 health, 185 health, excuse me, and 56 sanity. We eat Monster Meat, we lose 10 sanity, 3 health, but we gain 18 hunger. Generally, it's not worth it, but with Wickford, I can just kill a few things and we get more health. So, we're just going to get a night out and eat cooked meat. And this is the rocky biome, by the way. It's usually just filled with nothing but rocks. So, let's go. Generally, the best idea is to just kill all the clockworks that you can. That way you don't have to come back for them. And as you can see, Wickford, we're back up to almost full health. We've got a decent amount of sanity. And these are fitting there. Yeah. Okay. So, tall bird nest. You can actually harvest their nest and grab their egg if there's one there. However, if the tall bird that owns that nest isn't dead, it'll follow you until you kill it or it kills you. It will not leave you alone. Normally, the way mobs behave is once you're out of their aggro range for long enough, they'll kind of leave you be. Tall birds, like I said, if you take their egg, they will not. They will follow you till the end of the earth. Now what I do with tumbleweeds is I usually harvest them, even if I can't grab anything from them, because the stuff that you grab from them will stay here. Unless it's like seeds or berries or something, because that'll rot, but, you know. I generally like to just harvest them. And as you can see, there is a lot of tumbleweeds. Now, if I ever need twigs or grass, I can just run back here, and it's basically problem solved. And tumbleweeds generally will go to the side of the map and kind of get stuck. Actually, 28 is divisible by 4. So, a good note to think of, weeds are really only useful if you have numbers of 4. You can use, I think there's one recipe in the game that uses 2 and one that uses 5. But generally you want something that's divisible by 4 because you need 4 to make papyrus. That is a very small rock biome, and there are not many rocks there at all. I really hope there's another one. But as you can see, look at all these fucking tumbleweeds. Now, like I said, if I ever need grass or anything, just run back through this desert and grass problem solved. Now, hopefully Chester... hopefully Chester doesn't aggro the spiders, but I'm gonna say he should do so. Okay, here. This is a set piece. Like that yellow thing that you'd seen a while back that I said doesn't have any really importance. This is another part of that. Each thing has a specific set piece it goes with. That one goes with a farm, with a few farm plots, a few carrots, and a few things of grass. The ring thing is surrounded by evil flowers, which evil flowers, if you pick them, will lower your sanity as opposed to raising it. The box thing is surrounded by a bunch of stone walls, and it has a spear. That's probably the best one to play in early game, especially if you're not playing as Wickford, since you'll get an early spear. Where did... That's not that bad, I guess. Yeah, that's not terrible. Okay. Interesting. So, actually, almost done laying the map. After that is when we actually start setting things up. It's probably the most boring part, I would say, is the base setting up things. Like, there's a lot to do before our base is actually classified and done, and technically be classified. Is that really the only goddamn rock biome? Right here? That's crazy. Because this is just going to connect right there, I'm sure. I mean, there's a very small one there. This is actually classified as a mosaic biome. It's a mixture of trees and rocks. Yeah. I can't really explain it any better than that, but... going very insane at the moment. Okay. So, and with this, we have completed the layout of the map. We now know how big the world is and where all the biomes are. Now, base. Where should base be? Well, there's a few good options. The Pig King is always an option. You don't want to set up right next to the Pig King for a good reason that I'll explain when that happens. But the Pig King is definitely a good option to set up by. I'm thinking about setting up right here. I have a good supply of rocks. You can find actual boulders in the desert. They're just a bit rarer, and usually around hound mounds, which are basically spider dens for hounds. Then I have access to a bunch of trees. There's a bunch of spiders up here. We've got bees up here, tall birds up there. We have pigs for food. Beefalo are up here, so it's not too far of a walk. So I think that's where we're going to go, is down that way. In my opinion, the swamp is one of the least, I'd probably say the least useful. It does have its uses. With all the worms, spiders, and tentacles living there, you usually get a lot of like spider stuff, worm stuff, tentacle stuff. But for the most part, you can also build your base right around tentacles by accident without being able to see them. You can put your campfire right next to one, not notice it, and then all of a sudden just keep getting whacked. They do a lot of damage, so we're going to avoid that if possible. So, I think we're going to go here and set up shop. I don't remember where this wormhole goes. Actually, this wormhole goes to this forest over here. That's not too bad. So... close. Yeah, it should be it's a Pig King, or really anything that'll try to kill you, because if not, it'll wander into your base and can get in the way. Like if I were to base like right here, some of these spiders might come and randomly attack me throughout the night, or attack Chester or something like that. Now this isn't the best because they're these things. Yeah, right here. Now, we're going to finally place this out. Out in the engine. You want to know like doorways? This opens up a lot of doors. The first thing first, we're going to want to get a fridge going. And this will slow down the rate of food spoils. So there's a lot of hoard food. We're going to make it like that about here, maybe? So basically right down there. That'll obviously attract lightning strikes. So do not make the accomplice shrine. It's fucking useless. It doesn't do anything. Okay, so there are a few things we can make that. We don't need nightmare fuel last, we don't need that. We don't need the gems, we don't need any gold right now, we don't need the silk. We'll... Oh, okay, perfect. Chester. I don't think I'm running out of time. Where is he? And this will kind of show off why you don't want to build directly next to the pigs. If I can get up here, that'd be great, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't think I'm going to make it. Okay, this is Glommer. So, you can pick the flower, have them follow you, but we're going to save. And then we're going to save and quit. And we're going to go back. Very specific reason for that. Now, this is where it gets fun. If the world loves me, which I highly, highly doubt it will, but we can hope. Anyway, so if you relog back in, Glommer here. Now, I don't know if you heard, like, the werewolf sound in the background. That's a werepig. Pigs turn into werepigs on full moons, just like werewolves. That's why you can't base next to pigs. Anytime it's a full moon, they'll turn into werepigs, and they will kill you. They're a lot faster, a lot tougher, and very hard to kite a lot of them effectively. So anyway, after that, we're going to pick it this time. This guy is Krampus. So Krampus, what he does is anytime your naughtiness gets above a certain level, he'll spawn. We should have been right. That's weird. Anyway, anytime you kill Glommer, Krampus will automatically spawn 100% of the time. Now, the reason I killed Glommer to get Krampus to spawn is there's a 1% drop that he drops called a Krampus set. Anyway, as you can see, this backpack has 8 slots, while a Krampus sack has 14 slots. The backpack is also flammable and will get wet in the rain. The Krampus sack does not have that problem. It is fireproof and it is waterproof. So, very useful. Now, Glommer is interesting. If you stand next to him, it actually restores your sanity. He drops what's called Flamer's Goop right here, which, if you throw it on fire, maxes fire pit. It is one of the best fuels in the game. And it's free. So anyway, we're going to plant some saplings. Probably the way to do it. Now, the next objective we can go for, I think, is across the hat maker, which we need to make some spiders for. We need 6 silk, 4 boards, and 4 rabbits. And plus, harvesting the stuff up here isn't really that bad. Now, one thing to note when fighting spiders, do not, and I mean do not, attack a spider on its web if it's bigger than this one cocoon right here. What it does is when you attack the spider on its web, it alerts every spider in that spider den. These ones are unique. Level 2 and 3 are unique. They have what's called Spider Warriors, which cannot be stunned off, take a lot more damage, and they jump at you pretty much very when you attack. So, basic strategy, clear them off. We'll get rid of some of these spiders. There can be way too many spiders in the world, and this is a lot. Now, silk today. So if you destroy a spider's nest, if it's not at level 3, you'll get silk. If it's at level 3, you'll get spider nest, which den anyway. So generally, you don't really want to destroy them unless they're at level 3. But sometimes silk, or sometimes, in this case, you don't need 4 spider nests right next to each other. The more spider nests you have next to each other, the more dangerous. Okay. We have enough silk. Good amount of money. So, the next thing we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get some more charcoal. We do have 2. Yeah, as you can see, this Flamer's Goop is still going. Like, it is immensely useful. Pretty much anything you don't need, you can generally just drop on the ground. Be careful doing that, because some things will get eaten. Food, minerals. It really just depends on what you're around. Like, don't put any food around pigs, don't put any rocks around moleworms. Stuff like that. It's fairly simple to understand. But like spider glands, tools, like, I don't think anything will mess with tools except for Krampus. Krampus actually will steal things from you, which is kind of annoying, but generally it's not too big of a deal. You're not really around your base when you kill a Glamor. Not usually, anyway. So, how you get charcoal is burn trees down. or by killing Krampus, technically. And if you run anything other than trees, you'll get ash. Ash is useful. It has its uses. But, for right now, alright, so, charcoal time. We do need quite a bit of charcoal, so that and trees are easily renewable. It's not like we run out of trees unless we set ablaze the entire forest. A little bit ago. Playing a different world, and I lit a tree on fire, see, and next thing I know, the entire forest was gone. So, yeah, be careful. So anyway, up here, we can now, we do need 2 seeds. There's another one up there. Okay, so we've got 2 seeds. So we're going to run back here. Oh, and by the way, during full moons, you do not need a light source. So don't skip out. So we needed 6 silk for the top hat. But we don't really need it right this second, so I can just drop it right there. Now, what we do need is a bird trap. Throw it anyway. But we also need reeds and papyrus. This is why I have reeds. Okay, 2 papyrus, a bunch of gold, and 2 seeds. Now, the bird cage is arguably one of the best items in this game. You'll see why as soon as we can catch a bird. As soon as we catch a bird, we basically technically don't have to do anything else. I don't need this much gold. Okay, so first things first. Hello, pigman. This way. So, at least it's got a nice color. Okay, this way. Alright. So, generally, if you can, take the roads, it's a lot faster, as you can tell. Like, look how much faster we move. But the only reason I wanted to come up here is because I'm retarded and forgot to look at the map. Oh, okay, so there was another Krampus. Thank you. Alright, that would explain it. I knew there was another Krampus. Now, pigs can actually be given meat and they will become your ally. Once they're your allies, they can help you do stuff like chop down trees, fight enemies, stuff like that. So that's useful. And speaking of usefulness, what we're actually going to do, because we are terrible human beings, is we're going to vandalize their homes. Because, really, why not? I usually keep all the pigs that are in the main pig village next to the pig king. I usually keep those intact. These pigs will be able to just go down there if I need pigs. I usually won't leave all of them. But, for the most part, I will destroy most of the huts and reposition them to a better location. Simply for the convenience. That way I don't have to run all over the map. Like, for instance, if I wanted a pig, or let's say I wanted 2 pigs, I'd have to run here and way down there to get those 2 pigs out of the area. Why would I do that when I could just build them closer? Oh, I forgot to mention, on full moons, mushrooms will actually become mush trees. there are 3 colors of mushrooms, red, green, and blue, each one having a different effect, but since we're Wickford, we really can't take advantage of those effects. That's probably the biggest downside to Wickford. Green mushrooms are good for your sanity. Eat them raw, they take a lot of sanity away, but if you cook them, they restore it for a good bit of sanity. Blue, on the other hand, if you eat raw, will heal you, I believe it's 20? So they're good for healing. And red mushrooms just really just don't eat red mushrooms. Red mushrooms are really amazing killer. Raw, they do, I think, 15 damage to you or something like that. And then cooked, I think they heal you 1, but lower your sanity. I think. I'm not too positive. Alright, so we're going to bait this here bird trap. Now. So this is so what we're going to do is we're going to chop this tree down, because this tree would be a bridge for the other trees to start. But we're going to light all the trees on fire. Now, most things in the game aren't flammable. Some things are, for the most part, a good bit of things. Oh, and by the way, pigs during dusk and night will not help you chop trees. They'll basically just run around like retards or try to run home, unless you destroyed the home. Sorry, little pig guy. But as you can see, they're really not that afraid, because if you just stop to walk somewhere and eat something. So, they're gluttons. You can actually give them vegetables and make them produce manure. The only other way to get manure is by being next to beefalo and letting them do it. They'll naturally produce manure over time. Still no bird. Okay, so the other use for the charcoal. I can speak, Jesus Christ, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so we're gonna build the pigs a little bit up this way. And you might be thinking, well, why? If there are any hound mounds relatively close, the hounds will target them. And the pigs are actually decently armed to take out hounds. Usually, if it's 2 or 3 of them, they'll generally take out like 5 or 6 hounds. Not you really in problem. And we got a bird. So we're gonna go pick the bird up. Don't really care about the trap. Anytime you pick something up that's in a trap and you only have 1 inventory slot, it'll always give you what you caught, not the trap. So there's really no need to fear. Okay. Now the reason I don't even know what I'm talking about. The reason birds are so good, you can feed them cooked monster meat. Okay? And you're going to get eggs. Now, there are 2 important things you can make with eggs. I think you combine these, actually. There we go. Okay, so, if you put a regular meat in, a monster meat, and 2 eggs, and cook that, let's see what that gives us, shall we? But essentially, what this means is that if need be, we can just survive off of spiders. We can just survive off monster meat without any problem, without having the ill effects. is we're going to grab, a rope. Do that. But alright, find soap, kind of saving space here. Here. We got 2 seconds to get rope. Drying rats are used as jerky, which are Wigford's answer to help, basically. But, as you can see, we have bacon and eggs. Bacon and eggs give you 75 hunger. They take 15 days to spoil. And they heal you a decent amount. They also get sanity. So essentially, what that means is if we have meat, we can make one of the best food items in the game. And just that. As you can see, we're almost completely full now. With really no downsides. Now, something I do like to do. Alright, so we're gonna go towards the savannah really quick. But we're gonna have to drop a little stuff off base. Now, with spider glands, anything you can heal yourself with, if you just try to put it in Chester instead of healing instead, obviously you don't really do that if you're just trying to put it away. But it's not too big of an issue. I'm pretty sure there are no ones around here. I don't really want to see that. Anyway, I'm certainly going to take a bigger thing with us. We're going to head towards this savannah. Remember how I said that we're going to need rabbits? Well, we're hunting rabbits today. So, how you hunt rabbits, I should say. It's not really hunting, it's more or less just trapping. There's a number of ways to do it. We're not going to be using rabbits as a food source. If you wanted to use them as a food source, you pretty much just take the trap, just place it right next to the hole. And generally when they come out or when they try to go back in, they'll generally fall into it. For the most part anyway. So, you can use it as a food source, but you do have to come back periodically because any animal that's trapped will starve to death. And if you're not careful, it'll just turn into rot. And the best way I find to do it is place the trap in front of them, like this. Run up to them, for them to run, and then they'll run towards the hole if you do that. So if you can position yourself between the hole and the rabbit, you kind of do that, and they'll run right to the trap for you. And as you can see, I've caught 2 rabbits within a few seconds of each other. Really not difficult to do. Now, you can dig the rabbit holes. That was what I'm talking about. He's running back here. No! I thought that was the rabbit that was here. Right? Yeah, it's the same. It's a little tricky to get down at first, but once you get it, it's really not bad. Alright, quit. Run into your holes. This one will take, I guess. Okay, we got 4 rabbits. Just like that. But as you can see, they have like the green freshness meter, which is what that is. Once it drops all the way down to the bottom, if it's food, it'll turn into rot. And if it's an animal, they'll die. But that's neither here nor there. So we're going to make 2 more. And then we're going to continue to run back to the base. trees. Two trees. Head north. I almost said fuck. For some reason. Head fuck. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna pick the top out. And we're gonna go to the manic tab. Garner, I need to use Now, unfortunately, to make the shadow manipulator, we do need living logs and quite a bit of meat. We could make a meat effigy, we don't have beard hair. We could make a pan flute, which I think I'm going to do really quick. The one-man band I'm not crazy about. The nightlight I'm not crazy about. And that's really all we can make besides a few odds and ends. The life-giving amulet, if you're wearing it and you die, it'll revive you. The chill amulet is one of the summer items. It'll cool. The ice staff is free stuff. And that's really all we can make at the moment. Anything else, if we can make it. Meat effigy, it's like a touchstone. It actually lowers the cap on your max HP though. I think it's about 30. So you're more easily to die, but you can place exactly where you want to respawn. Pan flute, puts them to sleep. One man band, basically has all pigs follow you for free. Nightlight is basically it's like a campfire, but you can put nightmare fuel into it as fuel instead. Let's see. This piece of alright, so this is generally the only thing you ever want to use magic for. Flute. There's actually a way to get around that. Is if you save a pan flute that's at 10%, takes 10 each time you play it. You can actually use something like a destruction staff to deconstruct it and get the mandrake back. Effectively making you have unlimited pan flute as long as you have unlimited destruction staff. Which, unfortunately, there's a finite amount of those green gems anyway. But it's usually not too bad. Now, let's see here. Now, real quick, and Chester. I need more wood. Oh my god. Alright, so there are quite a few ways to get living logs, which I'm not seeing the first way. So we're going to do the alternative way. And that is they call this monster meat. I can run this way. Now, you can actually survive through the night by just running through these. They will go out once you run close enough to them, but they will come back very shortly. So, for instance, you could just hop back and forth. Like this. To get through a night. Worst comes to worst. I mean, it really lowers your sanity. But to be honest, I'm kind of trying to go insane. Okay, now, I want to do my better way of doing it. Anyway, you give these pigs any piece of meat, monster meat, and be careful how much monster meat you give to them, though. You can actually change them into other pigs, as well as monster meat. You can also use that to your advantage because where pigs shop, 2 meat in pig skin is a first pigs, which have a 50-50 chance of dropping either a pig skin or a meat. And there's a weapon called a ham bat, which actually takes 2 meat and a pig skin. You can effectively get a instant hand mat. I mean, it doesn't come with the twigs, but I mean, you shouldn't need twigs. Like, I think it's 2 twigs or something like that. Where should we start? Actually, you can help out too. So as you can see, the pigs will follow you a decent way. Now, a good way to get living logs is alright, so we're going to just chop down our street. Hopefully we get that. But I highly doubt we will the first few times to do this. Yeah, the pigs won't go out. Effectively, pigs are only good during the actual daylight hours. Once it gets to dusk, but what you want to do is try to milk it as much as possible. Really, like, demonstrate this. As you can see, you can clear this entire forest within a few days if you have pigs helping you. The best way to do this is to have a bunch of trees on the screen at once. Like this. This will give you a lot better results. Now, what I like to do here may seem cruel, but fire. Benefited like 3 pigskin and 5 meat from that. I effectively turned monster meat into a bunch of pieces of regular meat, which is a lot better. Now, what I was trying to show off here is you can get something to spawn called a tree guard, and it's effectively... Oh, hey, there's one. Look at that. Okay, cool. awesome. I can actually show this off. These guys really aren't that bad. Basic attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back up. 4. Back up. 3, 3. 4. 1, 4. 1, 4. Now, Kai does have a lot of sanity drainage on him, but he also has one of the highest attacks in the game. I think he does, it's 100 to players, and it's like 200 or 300 to mobs. Could be wrong about that. So, think about it, 25%. So that's basically 25 health and 25 sanity when you kill him. So, you really don't have to worry about it, because by the time you kill him, you're going to restore all the sanity you maybe lost, and you kill him with a decent weapon, which the battle spear isn't that bad for. Now, that's probably the, I wouldn't say the most effective way to get living logs, but it's definitely the easiest to do. As you can see, you also get a lot of wood from doing this. Like, I probably won't have to come get wood for a while. Like, it's insanity the amount of wood you can get from doing this. Okay, we got another hound attack coming. Kill this actor. Whoa! Hello. Okay, well that works. That kind of scared me. 4. Yeah, you can hit him 4. This is what hiding in the class part is. Running in, baiting attacks, and just repeating. Every enemy has a different hiding pattern. There are things called pangles, where they attack while moving, aka kind of. You can't kite anything that will attack while moving unless you have a massive speed boost. It's actually one of the giants, which is arguably the hardest enemy in the game to kite. I could be wrong. There's another tree guard. I'm gonna kill him. Yeah, pretty much, if you don't chop the tree down, then the tree guard's not hostile. He's hostile if you attack him, or if you start chopping the trees. You don't have to pacify him. Let's say you find the tree guard. You got time. Now, hounds can usually attack twice and run, but you can attack them in a decent interval. You can actually put them 3 times. Killing them gives so much weapon. You can't do it with a spear. You can do it with a tentacle spike, dark swords, battle spear, stuff like that. I'm starting. How far is base? Base, you know what? So you don't care. But as you can see, that was a very bountiful harvest. I've got 18 living logs. Now all I need is the nightmare fuel. Okay, oh, I'm full inventory again. Well, don't you worry, because all these boards will be great for making chests. Now, the only thing dumb about this game is if you play this game on PC, you can hold your action command with, I think, the default spacebar or something like that. But anytime you're gathering something like that, it'll actually move on to the next one. As you can see, I can sit here and hold X all day, but since I don't have a mouse, it locks on to the thing that you're closest to. And as you can tell, I have to move a considerable distance away to re-harvest something. So, recommendation for that is if you're going to choose one console to play on, I would definitely recommend PC, because not only can you install mods, which some mods, like geometric placement, like, it's not really cheating, it's just helping you place stuff with more symmetry, you know what I mean? Like, you should be able to do that regardless. You can also make bacon with morsels, which is now, jerky is effectively, like I said before, Wilfred. God, what am I saying? Wigfrid's natural healing, except for the monster energy, obviously, but it still has the same principle as monster meat, but it just spoils after a while. It takes a lot longer to spoil. That's the main benefit of jerky. Jerky, I think, has a 20-day spoil time, so you can have a piece of jerky for 20 days until you have to worry about it turning into rot. Which, 20 days in this game is an entire season. The longest seasons are autumn and spring. Well, those are 20 days. The harsher seasons being winter and summer, due to the freezing and overheating mechanics. Those are, I think, 15 or 16 days. But now see how this one is just a little bit, it's 1 pixel too far up. You see what I mean? Geometric placement, you'd be able to place these basically right next to each other. So, yeah. Okay. So let's throw all this wood in here. Well, now all we need is nightmare fuel, which I think we'll get. I need to store all this. I don't need reeds. I don't need pig skin. Really don't need this trap, but I'll just I'll throw this trap like, I don't know, here or something, just in, I don't know, if a spider comes down that far, I doubt it will, but we'll just go. Because we have our own little space farm, which I shouldn't have planted that so close, but no biggie, I can just cut that. Now, summer is arguably the hardest season in this game. Not only do you have to overheat, which you can't really just... The first few days you can kind of hide under trees and it'll cool you off enough. But after a while it gets so hot that you can't do that. But not only does that happen, but things can ignite and literally burst into flames out of nowhere. Meaning, if anything's together that's flammable, aka if these trees start on fire, these are screwed, this is screwed, this is screwed, this is screwed, all 3 of those are screwed, this is screwed, and that's screwed. Yeah, everything would go up in flames. So, we don't want that. We can actually make an item called the Ice Fling-O-Matic, which its main purpose is to stop fires that do that. So anytime it recognizes a fire, it'll put it out. Now, it'll also put out campfires, so you can't put it directly next to your base. Unfortunately, it's not that smart. Now, what I like to do is just kind of organize everything. Like, we don't need Glom's boot here. I usually keep, like, all the gems together. My big pigskin here. We'll throw the grass in there, I guess. Yeah, another thing that I like to do is I like to try to keep half a stack of stuff. So I'm like, oh, I need more. And then go and grab it. It's always better to have stockpiles of basic resources, just in case. Wood is probably the only exception to that, because you go through quite a lot of wood in this game. And then Chester, you can hold on to this stuff. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, I like to have a very clean inventory when the next day comes, so I can effectively gather what I want to. Now, today's objective. I honestly have no idea. We haven't had a giant spawn. I don't think a giant can spawn in the first month, or the first season, unfortunately. Oh, I should probably talk about giants a little bit. What giants are is they're seasonal beings. Now, there are 4 different seasons. There are 4 different bosses. Each boss is unique, has its own gimmick, drops its own items, and each item makes something different. The seasons as follows. Autumn is the Bearger. The Bearger is probably the best giant in the game. I will not lie to you. It is basically, he's not even a boss. He's a tree cutter. Like, if you run him through these trees, like where this berry bush is, like all right here, this section of the map, if I were to take the Bearger through there, he has a stomp attack, which basically just destroys everything on the screen. Like, anything that he's relatively close to, it'll just destroy. Now, not only are you getting a bunch of logs from that, but tree guards will also spawn. And Bearger will actually be able to take out 1 or 2 of them before dying. Meaning, you could get a lot of wood, a lot of living logs, and then you get everything Bearger drops. And Bearger drops something called the thick fur. It's used to make this right here, the hibernation vest. What that does is it slows the rate at which you lose hunger by 25%, and it is the highest insulation gear for winter, meaning you don't get cold. Like anything else you wear, for the most part, has a shorter insulation, pretty much. And what that means is the higher the insulation, the longer you can stay away from the fire source, or heat source, I should say. So, effectively, you're losing less hunger. You don't have to worry about winter as much. And then you got a whole shit ton of logs and living logs. So it's like, what more do you need, really? Don't get me wrong, the other bosses are cool and all. The winter giant is actually really good for spring, which hopefully I get one of those guys to spawn. I won't spoil what that one is. But I figured I'd go ahead and tell you what this season's giant is, just in case he does show up. But I doubt it. I don't think giants can spawn in the first. It's like 27 days or something. Which doesn't make any sense, because in spring, the giant bear spawns in the beginning. I don't know what that was. Did you guys hear that? Okay, whatever. Anyway. The one that spawns there I've started world, and like 3 days later, 3 days into the world, he spawns. She spawns, I should say. I think 2 of them are male and 2 of them are female. Okay, I'm just gonna plant a few of these, I guess. Okay. But, the settings that I have it on are lots. Normally, it's like a 67% chance that a giant will spawn per season. If you set it to more, it guarantees that giant will spawn that season, except for the first season, obviously. Second season onwards. What that does is it actually allows giants to spawn outside of their seasons, aka Bearger can spawn any season. I think. I'm not sure if it's any season or if it's like the opposite season or the sister season. Like summer and winter are the sister seasons since they're both extremes, while autumn and spring are most alike. So that might be like a limiting factor towards it, but I'm not really too sure to be honest with you. Whatever. I'm just gonna make my trust, I guess, and just shut up. Actually, I have bones. What the fuck am I doing? Alright, you need to... Alright, fucking... Glommer. Fucking move, prick. Chester, where's your item? Your item's there. Come on, Chester. Come on, Glommer. Chester, I want you to stand right there. Glommer, you're gonna sit right there. There you go. Okay. Nice little happy family. Oh, one important thing. You can make gold pools. Truly not important. But we have, what, like 40-something gold? 20? Maybe not. Maybe a lot. No, because we only have 20. But we have... You can get pigskins after hunting, and that'll actually... give you gold. It'll give you one, but hey. I'm trying to line it up with the other one. Okay. Okay. Chest to see. Okay. Now the way I try to do this is I try to organize everything the best I can. Alright, these guys will actually try to put the fire out. Yeah, if they grab it, they'll put the fire out. You can run. And follow their arm. But sometimes they glitch out. Do that. You can still hear it, but I do. But as you can see, we're not really hurting for food. We've got food. Yeah, I'm gonna read off 15 days, Jesus. Has not felt like it's been that long. But, oh well, I guess. Now hopefully this music is gone, because if not, I'm going to be pissed. That music gets really annoying. Okay, whatever. Anyway, Glommer's Goop. You know what, actually? You're right, I can't see it. You can actually eat Glommer's Goop. It'll lower your sanity by a lot. But it's not going to go insane. Alright, so anyway, back to what I was doing. Top left is my log chest. Like I said, I like to be organized. That way, if I need something, I can be like, oh, well, it's in here. Then I usually have grass. And then I usually have twigs. Then I have the chest below the logs. There's usually what I call my magic chest. That's really anything that only has use in a magic tab, aka living logs, nightmare fuel, gems, stuff like that. Then beside the twigs, I usually have minerals. So, like, I'm just swinging a shovel, apparently. I'm a retard, I swear to God. Okay, so we're gonna throw the gold in there. No, I'm gonna rock in that, I think. I mean, they don't. Chester, you don't have to rock. So you've got cut stones. That'll work. So we're gonna throw half our rocks and half our flint in there. This is what I classify as the mob drop chest. Anything that's dropped by, like, mobs. Except for charcoal. I usually put charcoal in the minerals since more will eat it. But stuff like spider glands, silk, Glommer's Goop, stuff like that. Gears. Cut stem actually goes in there. Ash can go in there. And usually I have, like, a random junk chest. Like, that can go in there. Honeycombs in there. I mean, stuff I really don't have a specific place for. Like, I don't have a tool chest yet, which I will eventually. But until then, I'm not really going to be concerned with that umbrella. I really don't need that umbrella until 2 or 3 seasons. Okay, so... Maybe not. I don't want to kill anything because that will gain sanity. That's one of the downsides of liquid, is it's very difficult to stay insane outside of really just doing monster meat, which I think is what we're going to do. And since it's almost dusk, but first, yeah, as you can see, battle hounds, they're very good. They take 2 gold, 2 rocks. I mean, they're better than football helmets. They last twice as long. That's usually the default gear that you'll have for most of the game. You won't usually get anything besides that. I do want to be careful because, as you can see, it's pretty dark. And I don't know if you can still see it with the creature, but I can't. He's like right next to that flower. It's very hard to see them. So, what I have to do is spider's attention. every single spider at once, and you can't really target which spider you attack. So that can be kind of an issue. But I think we're going to run home with this monster meat and pay. Yeah, you see the nest shake that we do right there. It's somehow on the web, even though it's not. You use speed. That's another interesting note. You do lose speed walking on spider webs, so do be careful. Spiders not slowed down by their webs, so it can be somewhat difficult to get away from them. Let's see here. We don't need seeds. You know what, actually, we'll just do that. These are useless. When I say useless, I mean practically useless. I can use them as filler in a stock pot, but I can also use berries as filler. You know what, we'll go ahead and now, jerky. Jerky is really good for healing and sanity. Now, raw monster meat, you do not want to eat, because, what, 125? I did, what, 14? So, raw monster meat can be very but also insane. These are terrorists. These guys move a lot faster. Hit you for 50 damage on it, which is a substantial amount. But also, they also restore your sanity by quite a bit. Even with that 2 extra nightmare fuel, we still don't have enough. I don't think we're going to hit 25. We need 7, 9. That. Now, red birds, well, birds in general, I should say, they can either give you morsels or feathers. It's like a 50-50 chance either way. However, if you cook them over a fire, it'll always give you a morsel. So if you need food, you can just cook it, and that's a guaranteed. What's it called? Now, I think we're going to go back up to the spiders here and fight them a little bit more. Watch this attack, right? Yeah, as you can see, he jumps. That attack has incredible range and makes it very hard to dodge. Take caution when fighting spider warriors. Regular spiders really don't get that. Spider warriors will kill you very quickly if you let them. This nest seems to be full. Now, a good offset to the damage is literally just using the spider damage you get from them. And that'll pretty much heal you for most of what you took. and then killing more will obviously get you more health back. Now, rot is the product of food spoils. If you let food spoil, it'll turn into rot. Which rot is basically manure, fertilizer, whatever it all is. But as you can see, we got another trinket. That's more gold. I'd like to find a few hound mounds if I can. I haven't seen a single one, I don't think. Cactus. Just like spiky bushes, you can pick it. But it hurts you, so if you do pick it, wear armor. That'll actually reduce the amount of damage you take. And also, here's how use your size. There's tree guards up here. This is a tree guard set piece, isn't it? This is what's called a tree guard set piece. This, it's just randomly spawning. There's usually 3 or 4 tree guards up here. But the most important part of it, I would have meant it. The most important part, you get miner packs. Now, these guys right here, I believe it's 170 grain per minute standing next to them. So this is another good way if they're grouped together. This, I'm just going to stand here. But we're just going to eat. Otherwise, they're very useful. Because if I can get, I believe it's 12 miner fuel, we won't really have to worry about trying to purposely lower our sanity on it. That'll become if I can get 5. Sorry. 6. But, mine, I guess, for some reason, yeah, if you're having trouble typing them, just kind of like this. Wait till I do that. You're stuck in a little bit. That kind of really good. Once they spawn, just kind of swipe and not despawn. But like I was saying, after you hit them the first time, do take caution because they can teleport to the right next to you, or on top of you. So it's not a bad idea to sort of cross and do that. Or when you do hit them, just in case they do, you know, make them bleed. You definitely don't want this like that. It's not like These guys will be around. These hounds are not going to kill you. The only problem is, during the summer, I will come up here and take them out because it's not firehounds when you've got personal planes. So you can imagine what's going to happen to the trees that get they actually go to sleep at night. And they just turn into regular trees. So you get one in the forest that kind of you know, be careful because you have right into a tree guard. They expect the tree next to a match because they each be sweaty. God, can I please get some light next to the tree? Yeah, this is the only really bad thing about these. Can't forward sniper. Like how many minutes I have one? Yeah, I know this is a very slow, agonizing process. Really want to keep you monster because that will eventually take what you do. I'm not sure. Safe. We do, okay. Back here and fight. Fucking. If you think about it, this is really funny. You're running around fighting nightmares. You know what? Actually, while I'm up here, I'll take this one. isn't as exciting. It's literally just the combat. Yeah, but as you've seen, I just gained a shit ton of sanity. Alright, so I think we're gonna head back to base now. Ugh, excuse me, Jesus Christ. Okay, well that was actually a very productive trip. Because not only did I get monster meat, which is useful in and of itself, because I haven't actually shown off the other recipes. Okay, well, one thing to note is you cannot feed raw monster meat to a bird. It has to be cooked. But what you could do is if you have 4 monster meat and you put one in and with 3 eggs. Oh, wow, that's cooking. Make a shadow. I'm trying to do this. Nope. Nope. I was gonna say I was trying to catch the rabbit before they got away. But it doesn't really anything to the case. Anyway, you can make meatballs. For a second, I really thought I had one nightmare or one living log. I was like, "There's no." I was like, "Cat bullshit." We'll kill what, like 4 of these dudes? Yeah, feedback. Not as good as bacon and eggs, but very good for what it costs. Anyway, throw this here shadow manipulator, and we have one of the best items in the game. The dart. Now, one thing you'll notice, we have 78 sanity. It drains your sanity fairly fast, but that's good because it makes nightmare fuel renewable very easily. So anytime you want to go insane, just kind of wield this for a little bit. And instead of using it against nightmare creatures, I can use Wigfrid's Battle Sphere instead. And I basically get nightmare fuel for free. I want this fucking tumbleweed. Look, frazzled wires. I knew there was a reason I wanted it. So. Die. Bam. I was gonna say we're not doing so hot on food, but I have what? 75 hunger is equivalent to about 1 day. So your bacon will sustain you for at least another day. So it's generally best to wait to eat it a little bit. Yeah, that should be. Actually, you know what? We'll just go full stack. I think next we're gonna go and give some stuff to the Pig King. One other useful thing is if you hit the R2 button, it'll freeze time. So let's say you see like somebody attack you and you're like, oh wait a minute, you can have a chance to like look in your inventory for shit. So So that's really handy. I'll abuse the fucking rat. Like, I'll randomly be doing something, and all of a sudden cows or something will attack me. And I'm like, and then I equip everything. Thanks for the goop, Connor. Great heal, Medivh. So, what we're gonna do, we'll actually show you miner's hat off, in case this wasn't blatantly obvious. This is what you can do with miner hat. I'm gonna want dark sword because dark sword is cool. We'll have to go get some grass sometimes, but that last hit would kill him right now. What am I doing? I'm wasting my headline. It's hard. And now, the way to deal with multiple enemies not that way. He's just that way. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to kind of synchronize them. Like so I can get that. Like that. Some of these pigs have fucking retarded names. Like fucking, gotta name his Bruno Antonius. I found one that was Kevin. I was like, okay. I was like, that's jolly. Well, going up, I guess. Boop, 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 boop. Only you can kill this dude. Oh yeah, by the way, I think this is the coolest sounding swing. Like, listen to the difference. I think it sounds so cool. Now, did you notice how this just lost its leaves? Boy, I wonder what that signify. Speaking of signify, I think I'm gonna go up here. Whatever it is. Okay, there is one thing I do want to do though, and it is fairly important. And if I don't do it, I will regret not doing it. So, what we're gonna want to do here is come all the way up here. So, if we run up this way, there's 3 of them. I think that'll do. Now, this is very dangerous. I usually like to do it one at a time. And much like... Ooh. Is that how it is, Krampus? Anyway, like I said, I like to usually do that one at a time. I didn't get what I wanted to, unfortunately, so I didn't kill him. But if you're lucky, you get what's called a buffalo horn. One of them should leave me alone. Usually the one that you don't attack will leave you a lot sooner. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? Fuck Krampus. Oh wow, we're getting cold. Nope, I need more. Okay, well that answers that question. But the question is... where is the monkey? Woodford and Dark Swords technically go well together. Unfortunately, you do gain a lot of the same you've lost. Are you serious? Okay, first of all. A good way to warm up is to just run through a fire. Like, look, we have 199 health. You actually don't lose fire, or lose health from fire until you're standing in it for, I think it's like 2 or 3 seconds. So, there's really nothing to worry about when it comes to that. Kind of light. Fire. Okay, I think we have... Okay, well, back to base we go. We've got a lot of meat, that's for sure. And you know what? Just because I can. Cat King's got meat. You don't want to kill them all that often. Typical tropes. The little spawner right there, they'll spawn, I think, like 1 a day or something like that. It only respawn up to 8 times. It only has 9 lives. Once you kill it the 9th time, that's it, it's gone. So there are finite amount of enemies. I don't think you can find them in tumbleweeds. You can find rabbits, spiders, frogs, bees, stuff like that. Okay, well. So what I was gonna do is I'm actually gonna make a beef loaf hat. Beef loaf hat. That'll be useful. Now. Use is fire hazard, really, is the only reason. And then it gets them out of the way, I can put stuff directly behind drawing right now. That's exactly what I wanted. Come on. It's not like I have a shortage of logs or anything. Anyway, you might spawn food. I think it's 1% for every tree on the screen. I think is what it is. But I don't know. Sure. Do need to put the stumps. Because as you can see, 2 drawing racks is not going to be enough for someone else. That's the good thing about Winfred is she'll get a lot of meat if you don't really. Meaning, drying racks are pretty much her best friend. I'm not sure how much grass I have put away. I do know I will need a lot more eventually. Not as much as other characters, because other characters I would generally make farm dragon fruit. Dragon fruit is a really good healing item that, unfortunately, because Flip didn't let me to use, she actually uses out on it. Which, I think it's the only downside to it, in my opinion. Obviously, that's opinion-based. Yeah, unfortunately, jerky racks take 3. I know I have 2 more. Okay, here. Yeah, unfortunately, drying racks take more. Sorry, they take 12 pieces of. No, they take 9 pieces of grass. They each take 3 rope. So, farms take 10. So, it's technically about an even exchange there. But I feel like Wigfrid is at a disadvantage because with farms, you really can just farm dragon fruit. And with dragon fruit, the best thing about it is you can actually make what's called dragon pie by putting it in a crock pot. Well, dragon pie, why can't I put this here? Oh, this thing's too close, I bet. Yeah, it's there, okay. But dragon pie is one of the best healing items in the game. It's, I think, 40 heals. 40 health. 40 health recovery. Death to all trees, I guess. But all it takes is the dragon fruit and 3 potions. And that's it. And that's great. And it's 40 health, 75 hunger, and I think it's like 5 insanity. For 1 food and 3 non-edible items. Yeah, hey. Like Jesus. You really can't get those things. Alright, you guys have got to get out of here. You can sit there, I don't... Yeah, so unfortunately in the magic tab, everything, and when I say everything, I mean just about everything, requires nightmare fuel. I am planning to make a nightmare amulet. I do need one more nightmare fuel, but what that does is it effectively drops your sanity to 0, and shadow creatures spawn more frequently. So it's basically, you make yourself insane with it. Telelocator focus will not be used for a while. Telelocator stack will not be used for a while. And there's a reason for that. You may think, well, it's only 2 purple shims. It's not. It's actually 5 purple shims. As you can see, this is just a gem. You need 3 purple gems every time you transport something. It's very expensive because it's 2 for the staff and 3 just for that. The sea warders we will do this. I can actually do that now. My staff I can make. My staff real quick. My staff is plus if it's a spear. So I'm sure you guess what the staff does. Set shit's on fire. I know I need to think of it either. More solar. I need seeds. Okay, we'll just do that, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm running out of shit. Once you get to a certain point, you really don't need to really do much. Everything is self-sustaining. Like, I could probably live off just what I have going on here and just killing things every so often. I honestly could probably skip off. Alright, well, I gotta fucking fuck with my OCD there. One thing I do want to do, but I can't do that for tomorrow. Which, speaking of tomorrow, I need to get prepared for that. Shit. Okay. Pigskin, I don't really need G right now. That's useless. I got my gears. Take blue for a hat. Okay, there are a few things that we need to do ASAP now that it is officially winter. In winter, the saplings up there are not going to grow, grass is going to grow, farms aren't going to grow. I don't know why it's raining, it's fucking winter. Okay. Alright, but there are 2 things that we need to do. And I don't have a lead for either one. So what we need to do, first things first, is throw that on. There we go. Okay, so, winter, you freeze. Well, I mean, beef will happen. We're in this. You know what, I'm actually going to use... I don't know why it's so raining. What else do I need? Food. So, there are, like I said, there are quite a few things that we need to get done in the season. First off, we need to find animal tracking codes. Instead of a koala fence, we can install a winter koala fence. Those you can make a substitute for the formation vest. It is a puppy vest, and I found one of the things that I wanted. Awesome sauce. Okay, these guys are Matt Cusp and Son. Pretty much what you're gonna do, but seriously. Anyway, well, now that we know that's there, it's also good that there's something that we want. Unfortunately, we get it first. Well, I believe they respawn every few days, but we now have a lead on where to find them. So I can just come up here in a few days and find them again. I really hate how the inventory system in this game works. For some reason, like as you can see, the spear didn't go here or back where it was. It went down in the backpack for some fucking reason. Like if I had anything right about this game, it's that right there. See, the umbrella went back there, and the spear went back there. See what I mean? See? Yeah, like, that makes tons of sense, doesn't it? That is annoying, because you really want to have these tools where you can just, like, oh, you kill something, bam, oh, you're done. But, you know, because for some reason, it hates me. Yeah, but as you can see, the days get really short for it. Like, we're only a third through the day, and it's already dusk. I mean, it's not night yet. Night's about a fourth of the day. But even dawn, fucking dusk is significantly longer. Why is... There are tree guards everywhere. This is a tree guard forest is what this is. Holy fuck. Oh my god, this is so many fucking living logs, dude. Dude. That's beast. You know what, actually, what I'm gonna do is you can leave a backpack here and it will signify that this is a point of interest. And I can just pretty much leave that there. Yeah. Now, okay, well we have that now. Like I said, they'll respawn every few days. We will be back up here to kill them again. Hoping to get what I want to this time. It's a shame that I didn't. But now we need to find a winter koala. Which could be really interesting. Ah, wait a minute. Okay. Winter koala. So, that was a very fast for finding two of the things that I needed. Now, this will make exploring winter a lot easier. Keep in mind the beefalo hat will do the same thing. It's actually the exact same amount of insulation, I think. They're both tier 3. They're as good as you can get. But the beefalo hat actually gets in the way of my head armor. I don't like wearing body armor. Log suits are definitely not as useful as the battle helm, for instance. And plus, when I'm exploring at night, I can't wear the beefalo hat unless I'm wearing a torch. Wear a torch, use a torch. But the miner's hat is so much more efficient. Like, why would I do that? Like, I would not be able to see half of this with a torch. What I like to do is next to it without now you can actually get glow darts. Instead of having to trap this dude, you can just shoot him and it'll gain his aggro. And he'll start trying to attack you. So it's very useful for that as well. But there are quite a bit of things that we need to do. I don't know this. Now, winter, I think we're going to end things here. I think we'll leave the winter for another day. We'll go ahead and make the vest. Quick. So let's make the vest. Silk. Okay, well, we'll go with silk first. Pretty sure we're not, but whatever. These are level 3s. Level 3s are interesting. By the way, for a reason we're not going to cover right now. Yeah, I've got a weapon and helmet, but I don't have any food. I'd have to run back. But anyway, guys, let's go here. Puffy throw this stuff in there. And I think we're going to leave it at that. We're decked out. Alrighty, guys. Have fun.